Queenstown, they like to do things just a little differently. But if smacking eco-friendly golf balls off the top of a mountain isn't your thing, don't worry. They have plenty of the traditional stuff as well. Indeed, Queenstown is one of the world's best destinations for golfers, offering a host of top-class courses in one spot.
Queenstown's a very unique place in the world. I've never really seen anything quite like it, really. It's got such extraordinary scenery. The other thing that makes it very interesting, that particularly in this valley here, where our golf course in Millbrook is, that in the glacial age, this is all covered in ice, and there was a big glacier went over the whole land, and it actually made a lot of the shapes, so all the rounded shapes are quite natural, so we're quite lucky, really. This is the spot, it really is.
Oh, definitely say it's the perfect place for golfers. It's easy to get to. There's a huge amount of activities to do in the area, and the golf courses are brilliant. Add into that the scenery and our very settled weather that we have here over summer. I can't think of anywhere better.
Two of the town's best courses will be in the spotlight next February, when the New Zealand Open is played at the Hills and Millbrook, which was recently voted the country's best resort course for the third year in a row.
One of the main reasons that we looked to host the Open here was to get the television photos out to the world. We'll get to not only Millbrook and the great quality golf holes that we have here, but also the environment that we're in. It's a great chance for us to showcase Queenstown to everyone.
Millbrook opened in 1992 with 18 holes designed by Kiwi legend Sir Bob Charles. A $40 million refurbishment saw an extra 9 holes added in 2010, overseen by former Kiwi pro Greg Turner. The Open will be played over two of Millbrook's 3 9-hole courses, the Remarkables and the Coronet.
Now, we tried to set this up to go straight at the Remarkables. That's your introduction. There's some seams of schist up the middle of this fairway. Again, when we were making the fairway, we discovered those rocks, so rather than remove them, we decided to incorporate them into the fairway design. The best line is up the right-hand side. That opens up the green, elevated green, that angles a little bit from front right to back left. An easy starting hole from the tee, but get it out of position, and there's a bit of trouble. We're on the 7th hole on the Coronet 9, par 3, 161 metres, slightly downhill. The most interesting thing about this hole, I think, is the schist rock wall behind. When we built this green, we were actually designed it about 1.5 metres higher than it is. As we started scraping back, we came across this great seam of schist. And you really identify that with the Wakatipu Basin. Schist rock, green hills, snow in the winter.
On the Remarkables course, things get a little tighter, with rough making the fairways seem narrower. The journey begins with a par 5, par 3, par 4 combination before arriving at the first of the signature holes.
So now we move to the original part of the golf course, the Remarkables 9. We're on the 5th hole here, long par 5, just over 500 metres, and it winds its way right around this lovely lake. Lovely if you miss it, of course. Lots of bunkers out there to think of off the tee. You've got a minefield of bunkers off the tee. If you can get it down the left-hand side, then you can have a go at the green in the right conditions. Well, I've successfully negotiated the tee shot, but it's not all over yet. As you can see, we've got a gum tree down here that's just in the left-hand side, a little bit of a left-right slope. So you've got to mind out for that gum tree, move it round that to get it onto the green. I've got 225 to go.
The par 3 6th offers a test of nerve with water short of the green, and the finish provides no let-up for players, requiring the kind of precision usually shown by NASA.
So the final hole on the Remarkables 9 is just a great spot to be. You've got the whole Wakatipu Basin stretching out in front of you, and a difficult par 4. Almost 410 metres, elevated tee shot, down to a fairway and then up to an elevated green. Again, we've got a lot of bunkers to think about here. 2 central bunkers, a bunker left and a bunker right. You've got to get your tee shot in position, then it's also a good iron shot. Well, that's golf at Millbrook. Truly has to be one of the special places in the world to play. The surroundings are just extraordinary. The weather, well, usually it's pretty good as well. Queenstown, Millbrook, par excellence.
The second course being used for the Open is the Hills, built by jewellery icon Sir Michael Hill and opened in 2007. It was designed specifically to host the Open and is a fantastic tournament venue, offering tremendous vantage points for spectators and a stiff challenge for the pros. It's also the only course in the world to feature artwork, and this year there are some stunning new pieces on display.
I thought there was a very interesting man, an Englishman, who is a senior sculptor for Weta Workshop in Wellington, Max Pate, and he has a diving figure, which I have one of his diving figures, another one on the wharf at Wellington. It looks like he's about to leap into the water. And I contacted him, and we came up with the idea of a pack of horses. They're based on the original horses that were ploughing the land here, which were big Clydesdales. These are pressing the limits of the biggest that was ever. They're 2 meters to the shoulders. They look like they're about to bolt if you clapped your hands. So I'm very thrilled with those. The other work is by Mark Hill, which is my son, and they're on Dragonfly Lake, and they are a swarm of dragonflies. They're quite unique, and it's way outside the box. So these two different forms of expression between the dragonflies on the lake and the horses on the next hole are quite a different experience, and I think that's sort of the magic of what we want to achieve. One thing about the design for this, which was designed by John Darby, who I think is a genius, he's very underrated, is that every hole has its individual personality. Generally, what I've noticed when you have a golf course designed by a great golf architect, that there's a similarity between the holes, and by the end of it, there's a sameness about some of them that you wonder which hole you've played. But this one here, everyone is just, you get on the tee block and every hole is like a totally different experience. And I think that's very, very clever. We're going to really give our best shot to make this course look remarkable and do some unusual things that will attract a huge audience. I've always found that the best way in life is to be different from everybody else. So if you can find a point of difference, then it usually works. The other thing is, of course, we're not blessed with a lot of money in this country, you know, we're not awash with it. But Kiwis are a different group, and I think with our ingenuity, I think we can come up with something that will be truly remarkable, and I'm very excited at the opportunity of testing some new ideas on this tournament.
While Millbrook and the Hills will be in the spotlight next February, Queenstown offers a bunch of great courses, one of the main reasons it is such a mecca for golfers the world over. In the heart of town lies Queenstown Golf Club, an 18-hole par 72 course accessible by road or water taxi. Framed by the pristine waters of Lake Wakatipu, it's been rated the most scenic course in New Zealand, and it's easy to see why.
Well, we're just very lucky to have a club golf course here on probably what would be the best bit of real estate in New Zealand. It's pretty magic out there, the whole peninsula. Every hole's got a view. You can see water from every tee box and every green pretty much. And yeah, there's no two holes the same. It's a very unique course. It's on a rocky outcrop here that Mother Nature formed a long time ago, and it's just such a beautiful place to be and to also play golf as a bonus. Well, we're standing on probably our signature hole, the 5th hole. It's a great hole with water carry, as much water as you think you can carry, how far you can hit it, and it circles around Lake Wakatipu. And like I said, every hole's unique. There's no two holes the same. There's quite a lot of dog legs. There's a lot of undulating greens. There's a couple of flat greens. Our favourite hole is probably the 5th hole and also the 4th hole now too, which is just before. It's a par 5. It's a good test of a par 5 because the prevailing winds are southerly, and if it comes along the par 5, you're hitting straight into the teeth of it without a bounds on the left and a hazard on the right.
The back nine starts with an elegant and enticing par 3. Players hit from a high tee towards a generous green that's guarded by a pond on the left and framed by tall trees that keep the prevailing wind at bay, making club selection difficult. The 10th is a hole you'll remember for a very long time.
Queenstown's just such a great place for all the activities around, all the adventure activities, the restaurants, the hospitality that we have, all the hotels, and we've got 5 golf courses which have all got international acclaim within 20-minute drive. It's just such a great place to go for a week's holiday.
But it's not just on the ground where golfers can enjoy Queenstown. Over-the-top helicopters offer a scenic ride to the extreme golf tee where players get the chance to hit probably the longest drive of their career. Away from the golf, Queenstown is a year-round tourist playground. Famous for skiing and winter sports. While in the summer months, it's a playground for outdoor activities and those looking for adventure. From outstanding wine at the award-winning Akarua Winery to bungeeing off the Kawarau Bridge. to scenic views and cruises, Queenstown goes all out to make sure a 3-hour trip across the ditch is well worth it. And if you want to be close to all the action, what better place to stay than the stunning Hilton Queenstown? So, whether you bring your skis, your clubs, your appetite, or just your camera, Queenstown offers something for everybody. If you can't find something to do here, you're really not trying. Air New Zealand flies non-stop year-round to Queenstown from Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane. Daily connections also available via Auckland and Christchurch. To book, visit airnewzealand.com.au. The New Zealand Open will be held from February 27 to March 2, 2014. For information, head to nzopen.co.nz. And for more information on visiting Queenstown, visit queenstownNZ.co.nz. Or for general New Zealand inquiries, go to newzealand.com.